Welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happenings YouTube Atheist Community and a tiny chat, kind of fun, and flowers, yay, flowers. Anyway, if you're out water, some of these scurvy tomatoes, they really just didn't, deers took their share, which was the one bad thing that happened, and otherwise they just came up a little short this year. Got some cherry tomatoes there for the picking. I'll have to pick those. These are doing okay. Got some bulk to these. But yes, a bit disappointing and such. So anyway, happenings, events, what's happening? Yeah, same old garbage, really. I wish there was some sort of great news, some sort of interesting news, but there's not too many people making videos, and the people making videos are making videos about stuff that really we shouldn't even have to argue. Basic value equations. I'm having to argue with people about the fact that conscious experience in the universe is a rather significant event. And you're just saying, wow, we have to, we can't even argue about the details of what experiences are worth something. Whether there's more value in some guy climbing a mountain, or to gain satisfaction, and versus somebody eating a popsicle to gain satisfaction. And that maybe there's a higher efficiency in, being a popsicle eater, versus needing to do something extravagant or expensive to gain comfort. But anyway, we can't even have that conversation because we can't have a concession that the experience of comfort and discomfort has any actual substantive relevance. So, what's the point? That's just a non-starter, really. You can't start a conversation until you agree on what the value components are. Realistically, my opinion, there's no room for conversation, like I said, until you know what the parts are. Or something like that. It's probably a better way to describe it. So anyway, there's Professor Anton is having some sort of debate about some sort of, I guess the subject is determinism in a way, or the ability to, deconstruct from the current place where we are, knowing everything, whether you can go backward and describe what the pre-existing conditions likely were. And I think, of course, that's doable, but it has to be done as a model. You can't do it with reality, obviously. You have to do it with a model of reality. And so obviously your computer or your device that's doing the modeling wouldn't be part of the thing it's calculating. So there would be no demon, or there would be nothing to break the fact that people just don't like this idea that there's it's a cause and effect universe. They don't like the idea that they are just reading a script. They somehow find that humiliating, and the very fact that they don't get the they part, the part that's finding it humiliating, is just a psychological program. It's itself. Not your personhood is an illusion created by your brain. You're not a person. You're a collection of nuanced programs, agenda programs, that have combined and create what you call your personality. But that's all it is. It's not a real entity. It's an illusion created inside your brain of a a self. But the self is really just made up of component programs that have acquired certain traditional and functional notions of functionality. Like this idea of watering something is an idea that I have in my head that yes, you have to water things or they die, so I have knowledge of this. Somebody else isn't going to do it, so yeah, I must schedule this as part of my life function, that I occasionally do this. Yes, turn on the water and water. You know, it's just something I have to do because of what I understand. My brain's, it has formulas and understandings of these certain formulas, and this is what the formula will produce. That you do this step, that step, and there's a certain product that's produced by that activity. You know, even pulling these tomatoes, say I grabbed all three at once. You know, I could have taken one at a time, but it's my personality, maybe, to challenge my skill to be able to release the tomatoes in bulk to save time. You know, to be more, you know, efficient in the collection process by, sorry, I have to reattach the netting so the deers don't do any damage. And then I have to fix these flowers. Sorry. A little noise there, maybe. So, but yeah, this is all just a, you know, mechanical process of my personal brain, and this is what it does. This is how it creates function for this individual, and it is all quite mechanical. So anyway, determinism is going to be my next subject on Vlogerdome, so this will be a subject I'll keep returning to when I have opportunity. I didn't really realize there was this component to Professor Anton's video. You know, this idea that he was kind of maybe resisting the idea of predictability, the idea that it is mechanical. I don't think he likes the idea of us being robotic in our function, but we are, in fact, just that. And what gives us the illusion of something else happening is the fact that we basically have more than one computer running. You know, our identity is made of a bunch of subconscious programs, and you know, they duke it out for an end product that becomes us. So we don't see the programs directly enough anyway to make it obvious to perception. So that maintains this illusion of I could have done something else, when no, you would have done exactly the same thing. So, you know, that all doesn't work. You know, these really turned out quite nice. These little, whatever this is, these little pedestals of flowery. It really was a great idea. Thank you very much. So you do get these little caterpillars on these flowers, so I have to keep an eye open for those. So I have to go picking around now and then. Flowers are having a little bit of a dull period just because they had a whole bunch of flowers, and so they're doing seed potting things, so it's not quite as full as they were a few days ago. I should have recorded them at their peak. But maybe if I cut these back, I'll get some more flowers. But you know, there's really plenty of flowers here, so I don't really have a shortage. This thing really did fill out completely here. Very nice. You know, see, this one just seems kind of feeble. You know, we have two little flowers here. This one's doing a little better over here, but yeah, it's all just kind of interesting to see what provokes plants to grow. You know, whether you feed them, you don't feed them, lots of little issues. And like I said, once the caterpillars get them, you really have to be wary, because they eat the new flowers before they, before the buds form. So if you don't get the caterpillars, you will start losing the productivity of the plant substantially. This is kind of weird how they've grown very tall here. So they're all trapped in this netting. So I don't know if that's going to hold up to a hard rain, but who knows? We'll see. Anyway, these white marigolds really did well here. This one, they do grow kind of inconsistently. Well, I'm not going to, I'm going to go waste your time with a conversation about specific plants. I do like these color here. It's kind of traditional and oldish color, but I sort of like it. It looks 1940s or something. Looks like a color invented in 1940. See, here's evidence of some sort of caterpillar or something was chewing on this flower here, quite obviously. So there's probably one on here somewhere. They're unfortunately very green. They blend in very well. So sometimes you have to really take a hard look to find them. Sorry about the increase in volume. I'm actually playing one of my videos in there. So I'm arguing into my own environment. But anyway, not terribly relevant. But see, this has kind of gotten kind of sparse. They're just not as thick as they used to be. Especially here too. You can really very sparse number of flowers. But I'm predicting a comeback soon. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll predict that. The real plant that's interesting, I don't know what the hell these are called. Maybe somebody knows what this is. I planted it from a seed, and it did this in 1 year. And it's bulbs that it grows here. And I remember the originals, I had a yellow one and a red one. And I killed it. Accidentally, I killed them. But I had gotten some seeds. And so it's really interesting that I ended up with the cross of the yellow and the red. So I like that. So yeah, but I planted like 10 seeds and only one of them came up, but it's really quite a plant. But I don't know what they're called. I don't know if they're entirely deer resistant, so that's why I've kept them here in a protected location. But you can see you get lots of these little petunia seeds. You get hundreds of seeds in each one of these things, so I should have zillions of seeds and such. This is a little tiny one. I don't understand why it's so tiny, but tiny. This is tiny. This is kind of a nice purpley blue one. So I hope to get some seeds off of that. I don't know if there's anything else tremendously interesting here. See, but this is what happens sometimes with these marigolds. They get these fake blooms, so that won't come out to be a regular flower. It's just like some kind of fake. And this one's had about 5 or 6 of these fakes in a row. So I don't know whether that needs fertilizing or what it needs. But it's a healthy-ish plant, but it's just not properly flowering. I don't know what like I said, there's probably a chemistry reason for that. I just don't know it. These are also very small but interesting flowers here. I don't know why it's 2 separate plants. So there's a small one and a big one. They're sort of interesting. Yeah, maybe. To me, interesting. It's always relative. I do like these subtle purple ones, just a little bit of color. Yeah. Sorry. Well, it is a what the fuck video, and it is, the environment is very dull and uninteresting at the moment on YouTube. It does need some energizing. And like I said, I'm working on my own stuff. We'll see if that goes somewhere. And we'll see what happens. So no point in dragging it out. Just a little walking. Oh, I'll show you the hibiscus. They're finally flowering. See, the flowers are quite large, as you can see, in comparison to my hand, quite large. Quite a nice flower. So they come in 3 varieties so far. I keep growing some newer ones, and it takes a couple of years for them to grow this, this size of the plant. So you have these white ones and the reds. I have some whites that'll be really big. I think the white one, there's a white one over here that has really big flowers, and so it's quite interesting. Yeah, so you have the white, and then these pinks are rather large flower. And they tend to face the sun, so the only disadvantage of this row is they tend to face away. So I don't get as much use out of the flowers on this side as I do on the ones on that side. Because these end up facing, they're for the neighbors, I guess. This all grew adequately. So these are the first year of the hibiscuses. So hopefully I'll get some new ones. I like these yellow and orange style zinnias. I'll get some more of those. It's kind of a good color too. It's bright anyway. Anyway, I have some cucumbers in here. They're not doing too good, but should get something out of it. And such. That does make a nice, whatever you call that, hedge almost. And such. So, yeah, so really sorry to, a little bit of wasted time in here, but won't kill you. These did very well. There was quite a lot of flowers up here, but they're starting to die off a little too. So, yeah, see, and this one's getting kind of thin and sparse. Yeah, no new buds on this whole string. So it's almost like it's time to cut it back or something. But you hate to, I hate cutting flowers back. It just seems wrong. Sometimes you got to do it. I just don't do it. So, I don't know if there's anything else. Portulacas are sort of an interesting flower. I've got a lot of those here and there. See, these did fairly well here. So these are always good flowers on this plant. These are just weird. One plant has good flowers, the other plant has, mostly inert flowers. Non-productive, or something like that. Anyway. Oh, butterfly. There's a butterfly. Do the butterfly thing and then we'll go. It's got all his swallowtails torn off. Birds and whatnot, I guess, have taken their toll. Yes. Anyway, I do have some decent photos I took of a hawk's moth. I think they're not bad anyway. In flight and whatnot, but we'll see. Keeps wanting to move. Can't get too close. Anyway, so that's enough. Until next time and such and so forth and whatnot. See ya on the internet and all that babble. Yeah, Tiny Chat was adequate. Nothing profound. And yeah, I gotta do better. Get more out of it. This is kind of nice here. Yeah, this little blob of flowers there. Anyway, even the tree-like hibiscus are nice here. Really, it's just quite nice. Got a weed here. Front yard needs weeding. Anyway, till next time.